There's a prediction that 125th Street will look like 42nd Street in 30 years. Yeah. So ain't nothing you can do about it because the people who built it got a lot of money. So that's it. The mayor of New York used to keep the franchises stores out, mom and pop stores in, but they don't do that anymore. Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and Burger King, all the franchise stores are right here now. All stores, you cannot live in this area unless you're a franchise store because you can pay the rent. Now a small store can't pay the rent like that. So that's the change. We lost all those mom and pop stores.
Mom and pop stores is considered like small businesses. Like this would be considered a mom and pop store. Something that's not like a big chain store. It's something that is usually locally owned by someone that you know, you go to church with, or your mom knows, or your family knows. So that's basically what mom and pop store is. It's just basically a small business.
We have a lot of photos all around the boutique because we wanted to feel like you were coming into a home and not just to like a cold store. Like, so when you come in, you feel comfortable. You, like I said, you feel like your voice matters. I belong here. This is my space. I can hang out here. I can come to events here. I can buy from here. And this is in my community. This is incredible.
You feel like you're more than that. You know that your money is turning over in your community. You watch my daughter grow up. Many people are surprised now that she's graduating from high school. They're like, how's Jazz? I'm like, she's about to be a high school graduate. They're like, oh my God, she was a baby. I remember that. She grew up in the store right here with me. So
one of the things that we're really big on is promoting other businesses that may or may not have a service that we already offer. If you come in here and you see something or don't see something that I don't have, I can show you who has it. And that's why the Harlem Renaissance was so successful, is because all of the businesses were interconnected and pointing you to different places where you can go to get things that I didn't offer. Important. And regardless of competition or if you feel there's a competition, community is important, and the black dollar, the dollar in the community has to go within the community for the community to thrive.
Harlem has become extremely commercialized. There's a lot of money to be made in commercial rent. The challenge is that Harlem is not the growing community that people think it is. So along 125th Street, there's not much residential. So who's coming? A community business has to be supported by the community first, and then everybody else around it. And by 6 o'clock, everybody who works here has gone home. When the world sneezes, Harlem gets pneumonia. You know what I'm saying? So we felt that. And then we went through Sandy. And even though we weren't physically hurt by Sandy, it hurt us financially. And then there was the financial cliff. So with each one of those challenges, I felt that as a small business owner. Well, like all small businesses, you know, Harlem was promoted as a haven. And many people came. I've seen hundreds of small businesses close, not 1 or 2 or 10 or 5 or 50. Hundreds over the years have come and gone. And part of that is the ability to pay the rent that the landlord is asking, right?
A few places that was my favorite places that are not there anymore. That was my competition around the corner was the Lennox Lounge. We used to go there and they pushed it right out. The landlord priced them right out.
One of the challenges that we face, that we constantly face, is educating our people to the importance of self-ownership and the need for businesses of people of color in your community, in the community that you live.
I think that you will not see a proliferation of small businesses in Harlem unless politically we become active and we're able to partner with the Department of Small Business Services, which is a suggestion that I've made to them, and find landlords who can be rewarded in some way, be it a tax incentive or etc., where they can house small businesses and it doesn't hurt them. It is actually a benefit to them.
It's not good, but for instance, all of my neighbors right here, some of my neighbors in my block here, they're all of them multi-millionaires now, because all the properties, any property you see, is worth $3.5, $4 million right now. All of the small buildings, they're all worth $3 or $4 million. So that part is good. And the people who didn't own anything are renters, they getting pushed out. Listen, this for instance, any day in the bar, the tourists all over Europe and the Caribbean and all over the areas, they all come here all the time. We get a lot of PR about what we do here, because we're the oldest jazz club in Harlem now that's still here, because gentrification pushed a lot of them out.
So what keeps us alive is that we're a local business, but we have a national following. So people come from all over the country to come here. We're not so dependent on just the local community.
One thing I will say is, when you do come to Harlem, you have to respect Harlem. If you take care of Harlem, Harlem is going to take care of you. And that's the part I think most people miss, is there are people of all races and creeds who come here and don't respect the community. It has nothing to do with color. If you come here and you invest into this community, the community is going to love you back regardless of where you're from.
All very doable possibilities, because what happens with a community is it loses its culture as small businesses are not allowed to flourish within that community. So that's what I see. If we can do that in 5 years, then in 10 years we have sustainable businesses, right? And by 20 years we have legacy businesses that are really built into the community.